So I'm going to do a quick stream here just to show an example of this student game, which I love. So here's a command block, and command blocks are great for automation. I'll explain what it does in a minute. But here's the game itself. So there's I'll run around the side of it. It's a speed run, okay? Basically, a few things are going to happen. I have to get past, and all these pressure plates, as I go over them, part of the floor is going to drop, and I have to get through this whole thing. But here's how, I'm going to show you a few things about how this whole thing works. I love this. Everything about this, students created, and it was all kind of like, felt innovative to me because it was approaches to doing things that I hadn't even thought of. So I'm going to run through the game once, see how I do. Probably not very well. Okay, so for starters, the way that the game itself works, which I love, is in order to make these, let me go into creative mode for a minute. In order to make the floor fall out, there's basically sand, and under the sand is TNT, and under the TNT is nothing because it was a super flat world. So the world is only 4 blocks deep, which leads to the Great Abyss. So when you step on a pressure plate, what happens is it activates the TNT through the sand block. So the TNT just falls. Now, it's going to explode, but it's going to explode nowhere near this, so it won't do any damage. But because the TNT fell, now the sand has nothing to hold on to, and because of gravity and sand is one of the things that is affected, the sand falls, hence making the floor drop out. So that's the basic part of the game, okay? Now, here's where the magic happens, in my opinion. One of the things I'm always encouraging my kids to do is automate their game, so anytime you play it, it resets. So when I step on this pressure plate, which you kind of have to step on to start the game, the whole thing resets. Now, here's the command block that's making it all happen. This is the whole command that's doing it. Now, it looks like a lot of gibberish in code, but this is the clone command, which is basically saying, let's copy from these 3 coordinates, the x, y, z here, to the x, y, z here, and then paste it here. We're basically cloning this whole thing. These are 6 numbers, but these are the x, y, and z of the starting point, x, y, z of the ending point, and this is the x, y, z of where we're placing it. So what are we actually cloning? That's where this part comes into play. If you go over here, behind this wall is an exact replica of an untarnished version of the whole game. So basically, what we're doing is we're copying this whole thing every time to reset it here. And then, as we were talking about it with the students, I was like, well, that sounds like it makes it easy to recreate and maybe make a multiplayer game. So if you look here, there are 2 other, speed runs or whatever you want to call them. And so basically you could have 3 players starting at the same time and seeing who gets through first. So that makes it a multiplayer game. But the magic happens between this command block, this pressure plate to clone everything behind there, and the cool game mechanic is that the pressure plates is making the TNT fall, which in turn is making the sand fall. So this is one project I absolutely love that kids came up with on their own. And I'm not very good at it. Oh, luckily I'm in creative mode though. And here's how the whole thing looks, if you can get past it. And then there's this part here. What does it say? Congratulations, you made it. Now you have this part to go through. Same idea. Okay, so thanks for watching.